Yeah. We'll turn it. Full service court. Yeah. All right, so we'll do that. And then, have you seen Judge Hill?
No.
Okay, we'll make sure we get Judge Hill too. And if we're good, is next door open on the YouTube?
I'll have someone around when they do it.
And then the judges haven't joined there yet, but we're running a little early for once, huh? All right. Yes, we are. All right, and just want to make sure we're all right with spacing. I think so. I think we're pretty. All right. Oh, and why don't you tell Ann and Betsy at least that we're spread out a little bit more to come on up here so that they can come spread up a little bit.
Hey y'all, I know some of y'all don't know me, but I just want to tell all the judges and everybody, thank y'all so much for everything y'all ever done for me. And I'm gonna miss y'all. Y'all have a great Christmas and a happy New Year.
Hold on, Sonja, while you're here, we got an audience. We got to hold on. We're not done. We're not done. We're not done. You're not done. And tell them where you're going to be next.
At home. Though Judge Brown offered me a position to be her bailiff, so I may be coming back in next year.
All right. Since Shonda grabbed the mic, see, this is what an Alabama fan does. They take charge. Here they go. They just take charge. And so how long have you been working here?
22 years.
22 years. She's threatened to retire before, but never gone through with it. And so we're just so excited for Shonda here, and we got you this gift. And we're so glad our clerk of court, where is Ann? Our clerk of court is back. It is so good that you are here. And so we wanted to present this. We didn't want to do a plaque or something for your wall. We wanted to do something that hopefully reminds you of us and reminds you of the good times as you are on your retirement. And so it is this crystal vase, and it has a little saying, live well, laugh often, love retirement. And
Thank
it's got
you.
your name.
Thank y'all so much. Not gonna call them out.
All right.
Okay, which deputy gonna escort me out? Thank you.
Thank you.
We told you we would do it. Nice try.
Yeah. Thank y'all though.
Let's take a picture with Ann too. Ann, we'll come take a picture. Yes, that's it. Thank you. on, man.
Smiling through my eyes.
Me too.
And I'm trying not to cry.
They under there.
All right.
Last but not least,
There you go.
roll tide.
Always just voting, always. Hey, you want to come on back? And I want to meet your family members too, so we're ready to roll for the pledge. Hey, guys. And the flag is right there, so we can all just kind of start the flag. Do you want to start us off? Crowd, I think we see is the one. You're the, I always do that every one. You see either one. So you'll start with the I real loud. All right. All right. Great. Won't you come on back to this? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. We got our judges in TV land. They're all good to go.
Sorry, I just realized what he said, just call me Mr. Moneybags.
If anyone wants to go to the other, courtroom to view just for spacing, it's on and streaming over there, just FYI.
All rise. Magistrate Court of Cobb County, now in session. Honorable Brendan Murphy presiding.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. You may be seated. All right, thank you so much for coming on this special day when we celebrate our current judges and our new judges. First, we are in the middle of a global pandemic, as we all know. Under normal circumstances, this courtroom would be overflowing. We'd have the second courtroom overflowing. And we cannot have that now. We can't have a reception and things of that nature. So we're going to celebrate as best we can and hopefully celebrate more as soon as this pandemic gets behind us. If there's anybody in the courtroom that is not comfortable with the current number of people in the courtroom, immediately next door, the ceremony is streaming on YouTube. So at any time, if you would like to excuse yourself next door, you'll be able to fully witness these historic and wonderful happenings. I'd like to welcome you. First, I should introduce myself. I'm used to being introduced when you walk in the room these days, Judge Staley Clark. My name is Brendan Murphy, and I serve as the Chief Magistrate of Cobb County. And I bring you greetings on behalf of the People's Court. As was said at Judge Hill's swearing in, this is a special court. What did they say, Judge Hill? It takes someone special, not for the faint of heart. And that got picked up by the article in the Cobb Courier. I like that. Not for the faint of heart. And that is exactly right. And so it's been a tough year. And I want to acknowledge that off the front, even though this is a happy day. The folks that we work with in this court, it's been a tough year for those in custody and those victims of crime that are waiting for their day in court, for those facing eviction, and for the landlords that have had their property without payment. It's a tough time in our community. It's also been a tough time for our court personally. Our staff attorney, our longtime staff attorney, Judge Staley Clark's staff attorney, Raj Mehta, was murdered in a domestic violence killing in May of this year. And it was a great shock to all of us. And so to begin the proceedings, I'd like to just take a pause, and remember Raj and all he meant to us. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite up the family members of Judge Brown and Judge McLaughlin, Will Mitchum, Adam Brown, Alexa Mitchell, Brandon Cohens, Miles Mitchell, and if I'm lucky, Isabel Cohens, to come on up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If y'all could come right on over here. If you could all rise, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all. Thank you. Good job. All right. And next, we'll invite to the lectern Dolores Baskin, a good friend of Judge Sonja Brown, to open the proceedings in prayer. Thank you, Ms. Baskin. We'll give a little bump there.
Let us pray. Here we are once again, God, standing in awe of your faithfulness. And for this, God, we say thank you. Thank you for the gift of life and the joy in community with one another. We thank you for these persons you have called into service. The Honorable Michael McLaughlin, the Honorable Judge Sonja Natasha Brown, and the entire Magistrate Court bench. We are in a time as never before that we stand in need of faithful, fair, committed, determined leaders, and we're thankful that you have shown your favor upon these individuals. We thank you for their families who mold them and shape them and keep them grounded. We thank you for their mentors who pour words of wisdom into their spirits. We thank you for their village that supports them, that undergirds them, and encourages them to keep on pushing. As they prepare to assume their new roles, increase their wisdom and understanding so that they, O God, may be able to render fair and impartial judgment. May their motives and actions conform to your will and fulfill your purposes. Micah 6:8 says, "And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justice, and to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God." Keep them ever mindful of your law of love, so that they may temper justice with mercy and exercise control with compassion. Continue, kind God, to show yourself strong and raise up judges after your own heart, who will stand against ungodliness and injustice, uphold your righteousness, and unashamedly protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. We praise you for who you are, and we thank you that you continue to fulfill your promises in our lives. These and all other blessings we ask in thy name. Amen.
Here at the Magistrate Court, Court Administrator Tanisha Phillips and I, we like to brag a lot that this is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week court. Some of you may have had to wait in the hallway because we were literally having court in this courtroom. And when we are done with these proceedings, we will resume having court. And I like to take credit for that because that's what I guess the elected official does. But in reality, the people that make this court run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including Christmas Day, Easter Sunday, and everything in between, are our judges that work part-time. I like to brag on our judges. The hourly rate for a part-time judge is less than a third of what you would pay an hourly rate for any decent attorney in this community. So it is truly a labor of love that they are serving their community. It's not about a robe or a title. It's about a job. And I'm so honored that I wanted to recognize our part-time judges that are being resworn in today as we embark upon this new term together. I thought it might be fun, and when I call your name, you could stand up so we can see you, and some are joining us virtually. But I thought it would be great to give either a fun fact or some little quote about each judge. And so please forgive me as whatever pops into my mind as I see you. Some may be better than others, but I love you all equally. And so we'll hold off on Judge McLaughlin and Judge Brown for a little while. Let's start with our newest judges, who happen to all be our top judges alphabetically. I don't know how that happened. So joining us for the first time will be Judge Anna Marie Baltz, who's a dear friend of mine. She had been Judge Proger's staff attorney in addition to working with Barry Morgan's office. And so if Anna Marie worked with Judge Proger's, she's smart, she's hardworking, and she's going to have a great demeanor. And so welcome. We welcome you to the Magistrate Court. Thank you so much. Next, we have Judge Tabitha Ponder Beckford. We're so excited that she is joining the court today. When I think of Judge Tabitha Ponder Beckford, I think of access to justice, 3 words, because that's where her heart is. That's where her career has been. She is currently counsel to the Access to Justice Committee statewide. And so I do have to say, Judge Dear Jackson, I do have to say, I always keep the balance in this court. So when I add a esteemed member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, I must include a Delta. So the balance is maintained. And so thank you so much. We're so excited for you to be here. Also joining us for the first time will be Judge Elisa Blanchard. And we're so glad to see you. She's a partner in a local law firm. And when I think of Judge Blanchard, I think of clients and community, because I see her in court just advocate so zealously on behalf of her clients. And then community. She's just about everywhere. Wherever she's asked to be, there she is. She's my current appointee to the Board of Ethics, and I think that speaks deeply for who she is as a person, and you'll be a tremendous addition to our bench. So welcome and thank you. All right, Judge Chesbrough, now we have to have some of the fun facts. Judge Chesbro, he is one of our great judges. He's a part-time professor at Kennesaw, and he was also a former flight attendant, just like one of my predecessors, Judge Cox. So Judge Chesbro, we love you. Thank you. Judge Rita Cherry is a recent re-addition to our bench. So our fun fact that Judge Cherry had served previously, left the court to take a full-time prosecuting opportunity, and then is back. And of course, she is a Delta as well, again, maintaining that balance. So thank you, Judge Cherry. We're so glad you're back. Judge Chohan is here. He's one of our recent judges. And I believe the fun fact, and I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but I believe that Judge Chohan is one of the first, if not the first, Muslim judge in Cobb County. Is that accurate? As far as we know. So he's also a huge Atlanta sports fan, so he suffers like me. I'm sure he suffered through that game yesterday with the Falcons. So, right. Judge Louis Feingold is joining us virtually. Judge Feingold has been a longtime member of the court, specializes in collections work. He's the South Georgia stunner right there. So we're so glad that he's joining us virtually. Are you unmuted? All right. Wonderful. Judge Carrie Fiedler is here, and she has a great mediation practice. She's a newer addition to the court. I think Judge Holmes' last appointment, probably. And Judge Fiedler speaks Mandarin. That's the fun fact there. So we love our fun facts. Judge Hicks is here. Now, you know what I'm going to say about Judge Hicks. He's one of our longest serving judges. Judge Hicks is like me. He is the love judge. He loves the weddings, Judge Deere Jackson. He loves the weddings, and he does such a great job. We are the biggest wedding venue in Cobb County, and Judge Hicks does a great job making the people feel welcome, and that's a priority that I have, that when people come here, whether it's to settle a dispute or to start their life together, that they are genuinely welcome, and Judge Hicks does such a great job. So thank you, Judge Hicks. Next, we're moving to a couple of our real bench leaders statewide. Judge Jennifer Inman has a great history with the court. She was staff attorney with Judge Reynolds, and then he appointed her to the bench where she served ever since. She's really an expert on a lot of both the warrant desk and on the civil side of the house, and she represents us on the 7th District for the council. So thank you, Judge Inman. Judge Casper joins us, and we're very excited. Judge Casper's fun fact is she will be the president, the statewide president, Judge Staley Clark, of our organization, of the Council of Magistrate Court Judges. Here sooner than we had expected. So very soon she'll be serving. So thank you, Judge Casper, for your service. Judge Janae McCamey is here as well. You know what my fun fact has to be. She is an enthusiast from Dragon Con. It was canceled this year. So she brings us all the interesting fun facts, and she does a great job for us in the warrant desk, and she's also branching into some of our civil proceedings as well, has her own practice. So thank you, Judge McCamey. Judge Amanda Perez is one of our recent additions. There she is. She has her own practice, criminal and immigration. Judge Perez is the first Hispanic woman to serve the bench here in Cobb County. And again, we're just so proud that our bench reflects the community, and it reflects the community in a way of excellence, that it is people that have earned their seat on the bench through their hard work. And so thank you, Judge Perez. Judge John Strauss is here. Judge Strauss has been a longtime member of this court. He is a great judge in our warrant division, has his own practice in plaintiff's work, and he is almost as good a lawyer as he is musician. And he's almost as good a musician as his wife is a musician. I hope she's watching. So he's an accomplished trumpetist. So we are really open 24 hours a day. So if you come up here sometime at 3 a.m. and you hear a trumpet, now you know why. So thank you, Judge. We've got Judge Lee Tollison here. Judge Tollison's fun fact is that he is a comedian, and he is a commercial actor, so look closely on cable, and you will not only see him on the bench, but you will see him on your cable box. And so thank you, Judge Tollison. We have our senior magistrates. Is Judge Merigliano? Judge Merigliano is here. And I'm so excited that Judge Merigliano is going to be serving in a senior capacity after serving our court for 8 years for 2 full terms. He also has his own plaintiff's practice, and he brings a lot to the table. Thank you so much, Judge. And Judge Timothy Wolf, who is joining us virtually, was our very first senior magistrate here in Cobb County, that he retired from active service early in my term. And so we're so glad that Judge Wolf continues to serve statewide in this capacity. Thank you, Judge Wolf. And so with that, if all the judges can rise, and I'm going to join you because I have to be sworn in as well, and Judge Kelly Walt, our great probate judge over here in the best building in the courthouse complex, will swear us all in.
I was told we're doing the version, where I read all of the words and you guys get the easy version of going, yep. So, ready? When I get to so help me God, if you do, say yes, or something else. If you don't, then talk to Tanisha or Judge Murphy, and they'll get you in touch with HR. All right. Do you swear or affirm that you will duly and faithfully perform all of the duties required of you as Magistrate Judge of Cobb County? Do you further swear or affirm that you are not the holder of any unaccounted for public money due this state, that you are not the holder of any office of trust under the government of the United States, any other state, or any foreign state which you are by the laws of the state of Georgia prohibited from holding, that you are otherwise qualified to hold said office according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia, and that you will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, and that you have been a resident of Cobb County for the time required by the Constitution and laws of Georgia? Do you swear that you are a citizen of and being an employee of and the recipient of public funds for services rendered as such employee, do you hereby solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Georgia? So help you God.
Congratulations, everybody. Thank you so much. Now we're moving into the swearing in of our 2 new full-time judges, and I'm so excited. When Tanisha Phillips, the court administrator, and I sat down and worked through these interviews, we had over 30 folks apply to join us in a full-time capacity, and it was very hard to even begin to narrow that down. And a lot of folks would ask when we were in the interview, they'd say, well, what are you looking for in a full-time judge? And I think that my answer stayed pretty consistent, Ms. Phillips, that we wanted somebody smart, we want somebody fast, and somebody who has a heart for the people. And so I wanted to unpack that. Somebody smart. I heard Judge Hill, because she's smarter than me. Judge Hill said this at a recent forum, that being smart doesn't mean you're the smartest person in the room. A judge that thinks he or she is the smartest person in the room usually doesn't get very far because they're usually wrong. Being smart means you know what you know what you don't know, and you know how to, oh yeah, that's all right. She's all right. Oh, that's no problem. Yeah. No, she's good. Yeah. She's all right. No, never. No, that's it is no problem. No, that is no problem. And so being smart means knowing what you know, knowing what you don't know, and how to rectify the difference. And so that is what we have with these 2 individuals. Being fast, I'm being kind of slow today, but it's our one day, Judge Staley Clark. This is our one day these 4 years. So we have an incredible volume in this court. And so we have to give people their day in court. We have to listen to them, and then we have to keep the cases moving. And so when I see that Judge McLaughlin obviously has that experience by working here for over 30 years, when I see Judge Brown, who has worked at the solicitor's office, worked at the DA's office, we know these are high volume places, and that she will be able to embrace that heavy caseloading, strike that balance between hearing people and keeping them moving, making sure their day in court is only a day or less, not 3 or more. And then a heart for the people. That's probably the most important. I remember when I met Judge McLaughlin when I first got over here, I love when people give themselves nicknames. And he told me, he was the people's judge. I remember this, and I like to call him the dean because he's the longest serving magistrate judge. And I've got to witness it firsthand in some of the toughest calendars this court has. His genuine concern of following the law, getting it right, and explaining his reasoning to the people before him so that they have ownership over the decision he's been called on to make. Genuine concern for what he's doing and the effect it has on real people. When I look at Judge Sonja Brown's resume, her community involvement, I remember Tanisha, we were looking in the office and I just kept flipping it. And I was like, this can't be real. I have to meet this person. That she's been the president of the statewide GABA Association, that she serves on the board of the United Methodist Church in North Georgia, that all of these, the National Black Prosecutors Association, all of these wonderful organizations aren't about titles, aren't about a resume. It's about really doing the work. And that shone through everybody we talked to about Judge Brown. And that's going to be here. Judge Brown built from scratch 2 community prosecution units. You don't do that unless you care about the real effects of your decisions on real people. And so that screams through her resume. And so we know that Judge McLaughlin and Judge Brown are going to do it. I like to think of it, it's really a 1-2 punch, that it is the best of what this court has been for 30 years and all that this court can be for the next 30. That is what these appointments represent. And I just can't be more excited. So with that, I want to turn it over to a wonderful judge, somebody who has served in this court, served our community in the state court, and now currently has served since for plenty of time on our Superior Court, and that is Judge Mary Staley Clark. Thank you, Judge.
Judge Murphy, thank you for the introduction and the kind words and conducting just a wonderful program to bring in new judges to serve the people of this community. This court is so critical. I served it and it was my pleasure. And it is now my pleasure to call upon Michael E. McLaughlin and grandson Will to administer the oath. Do you have the Bible?
Let's see. Do you have the Bible?
Let's get you where everybody can see you. This is no fun if we can't see y'all. Raise your right hand, please. I, Michael E. McLaughlin, swear or affirm that I will duly and faithfully perform all the duties required of me as magistrate judge of Cobb County. I do further swear or affirm that I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money due this state, that I am not the holder of any office of trust under the government of the United States, any other state, or any foreign state which I am by the laws of the state of Georgia prohibited from holding, that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia, and that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, and that I have been a resident of Cobb County for the time required by the Constitution and laws of this state. I, Michael E. McLaughlin, a citizen of and being an employee of and the recipient of public funds for services rendered as such employee, do hereby solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Georgia, so help me God. Do you so swear?
I do. Good job, Will. Well, I want to extend my personal welcome to all of you who are here in person and also virtually. I had debated over the last couple of days on whether or not, in preparing for a trial, for example, I could have my closing argument memorized and just get up here and wing it, kind of like what Judge Murphy just did. But I decided better not, because the hour that I've been given, I'm just kidding, to make my remarks, I better have the proverbial cheat sheet. So first I want to thank Judge Staley Clark. What she didn't say was that she and I go back a ways. Me as a lawyer, she as a judge, and although it has been commented on already, I thought it was so appropriate that one of the first magistrate judges would actually swear me in today. So I appreciate that very much. And her stellar career went from magistrate court to state court and then to Superior Court, where, as Judge Murphy has so aptly noted, she's been there for several years. I noticed that in 2018, you were honored yet again with the longevity that you have had for this county, which shows your commitment to service to the citizens of this county. So I am very grateful that you do that. As a lawyer, I felt that she was reminiscent of two F words, and those words are fair and firm. I didn't always win, and I didn't always lose, but she was always fair and firm. And, you know, when you practice between the number of judges that I have practiced in front of, the number of different counties that I've practiced in, you become, I guess, very concerned about how you come across as a lawyer. And when I first became a magistrate judge, frankly, I didn't know what a magistrate did. But someone approached me. I said, sure, I would do that. I felt at the time that it would help me become a better lawyer. But what I have found over the years is judging has made me a better lawyer, but lawyering has made me a better judge. Because in the various counties that I've been in around the state, there are some judges that I would never want to go back before again. And then there are some judges I couldn't wait to get in front of. And I see a couple of heads shaking. So there's some trial lawyers out there. We know who the judges are that you want to practice in front of, that you enjoy practicing in front of. As was commented on a few minutes ago, judging, lawyering is a hard task. You try to get it right. You try to do it the right way. You try to be professional and gracious in everything that you say and you do. And it is hard, to do that. From the lawyer's standpoint, you advocate for one side. From the judge's standpoint, you have to weigh both sides. I'll never forget, many years ago, I was doing a probable cause hearing. And as the state was putting up its side of the case, the barometer needle in my head was going, why are we here? Why are we doing this hearing? It is so obvious to me. And then the defendant got up, and the defense was, for those lawyers of you in the room, you will know, was an alibi defense. The person wasn't even there. It wasn't him. Misidentification. It's like, wow, never again will I jump to any conclusion before all the facts are given out. So that was a lesson that I learned. Another thing that I learned over the years, and Judge Murphy had commented on, I've been a part-time magistrate for a while. And for the number of years that I've been a part-time magistrate, I've been a full-time lawyer. So for the number of years that I've been doing that, I've been juggling a private practice, a solo private practice, I might add, and judging. And to deal with conflicts, and to deal with preparation, and to deal with no holidays being taken off, and so on and so forth. I am so grateful to be given the opportunity that I've been given so that I can now focus all of my energies on one task. I felt like I've done it pretty well, and I appreciate the kind words that have been shared with all of you here today, but I think I can do it better. I think I can turn it up a little bit more. So that's what my goal is, to be able to do that. It's also been obvious, you could think, that with the number of years that I have in the magistrate's office, I've seen quite a few chief magistrates come in the door and go out the door. And most of the chief magistrates have gone on to bigger and better things. It's a personal choice. I get that. I understand that. But the magistrate office has always been in my blood. It's always been something that from the day that I came in here, and met the staff, and met the personnel, and found out exactly what we did do and all that stuff has never left me. I've just thoroughly enjoyed it that much. But one of the things that Judge Murphy brought into the office when he came in July of 2019 were two things that I perceived. One was infectious energy. He brought in an energy level that's like, wow, I want to be a part of that. And if you've ever sat in on a calendar and watch him handle a calendar, he defines multitasking. I thought I was pretty good, but man, he comes in and, well, there's 17 cases and gee, it's only 11 o'clock. What are we going to do now? And again, I say that, you know, with the understanding and knowledge that none of us short circuit cases. None of us, it's all in the organization and the orchestrating of who's present, what cases should be heard first, and how you can move the cases. So it's not that we don't let someone have their full day in court or anything like that. The second item that I felt that he brought into the office was this perceived commitment on my part that I perceived of his wanting to make this office the best in the state. And again, he had me on that. I think I can contribute to that. I think I can help make this court the best in the state. Cobb County, I can report over the years, has always been one of the leading magistrate courts, you know, around the county. Around the state. We used to go to huge magistrate get-together for our continuing judicial education hours. There'd be 200 to 400 people in there from all the counties. But what county name kept coming up again and again? Cobb County. It's not just because of the judges. It's because the staff, it's because the personnel, because the way we administer calendars and the whole gamut and all that. But the perceived commitment that I did perceive was, I can come in and make it better. And I like that. I said, I can be a part of that. But wanting and having something happen are sometimes two different things. You have to have an opportunity. And I will tell you that over the years, perhaps I've had opportunities, you know, sometimes here and there. But with opportunity, you have to have timing. So you have to have the timing and you have to have the opportunity, and they have to mesh together in order to yield a result. Well, as was commented on a few minutes ago, Judge Kelly Hill, one of our finest, decided that she was going to run for a Superior Court bench seat. So she ran, and then she won. Thank you, Judge Hill. So in my mind, timing and opportunity then meshed. So I said, okay, I'll put my name in. And let me digress here for a second as well. When I talk about the staff, I've known so many people come in and out of these doors as far as personnel, clerks, staff members, and all that. And there were a number of them, whose names I will not mention, who encouraged me, who pushed me, who said, now's the time. And I've tried to go to each one of them and thank them for their encouragement and their support, but I want to do this publicly as well. That a lot of those comments and encouragements were what kind of put me over the edge to say, this time I'm going to do it. So I put my name in. So what was the process? I had to put together a cover letter. My wife, editor-in-chief, helped me put that together, but the words were mine, okay? But she edited it for me. Then I had to dust off the old resume, have an updated resume. They've even changed how you do resumes these days. So we had to change that around and update the resume. Then I went in for the so-called interview. My wife says, are you nervous? Now, I had known Judge Murphy, but we had not spent like really time together. But my vibes that I picked up on, I said, no, not really. And boy, was that borne out, because when I went in for the so-called interview, it became a conversation. Within 2 seconds, I didn't think I was being interviewed. Within 2 seconds, I felt that I was with an age-old friend at Starbucks sipping on coffee, just talking about events. That's how at ease he puts you in an administrative position. He just makes it so easy that you feel at ease. And we just had a great conversation. And I was selected. And for that, I am gratefully indebted to you. But for those of you who don't know, and especially those who are streaming, that's not the end of it. There's more to the process. Then the selection has to go to the Cobb County Superior Court bench. And they have to approve the selection. So when that occurred, again, I'm talking to my wife and I'm saying, well, I know them all. I practiced in front of like all of them. But the uneasiness of not knowing the result is always the factor of uneasiness. So ultimately, I got approved by the Superior Court bench. So I greatly appreciate that. And I believe our newest chief judge just walked in, Chief Raj Mehta from the Cobb County Superior Court bench. So to them, I greatly appreciate that as well. And I'm almost finished, believe it or not, but I digress for a moment because at events like this, unlike funerals and marriages, you have the opportunity to say good things about good people. And I mentioned to you that I have practiced in many counties. I practiced before many judges. And I believe I say this not with prejudice, but with objectivity. I believe I say this based on my experience and knowledge and not by any persuasion otherwise. But I truly, sincerely believe that the Cobb County Superior Court bench is the best in the state. Now, have I been in every county in every state? No, I have not. But I've been in a good many counties throughout the state. And the way that they handle the cases, I think they're better, they're efficient, that they're willing to hear the cases and let you put up your case and then rule on the cases in a timely fashion. There was one case I had years ago. I was representing a lawyer. He was an editor. And we sued in one of the greater metro county superior courts. Well, the defendant filed a motion for summary judgment. So we went and argued that day. Well, 2 weeks went by, no ruling. A month went by, no ruling. And my client, who was not a practicing lawyer and didn't kind of know procedures, and really you don't mess with the judge when they're taking something under advisement or whatever. After about a month or two, he said, why don't we have a ruling? What's going on? I said, well, let's just give it some more time and we'll see what happens. After about 4 or 5 months, he said, I need to write a letter to the judge. I said, nope, you don't need to do that. Please don't do that. Okay. So after about 7 or 8 months went by, he says, I'm going to contact the JQC. This is ridiculous. And once again, I said, nope, you don't want to do that. Well, after 12 months, we got a favorable ruling, and then we were able to finally go to trial and all that. You don't see that in Cobb County. You don't hear those kind of stories in Cobb County. I want to acknowledge briefly fellow part-time magistrates. It was commented on again, but I want to throw out some additional words that I actually wrote down that I think characterizes who and what a magistrate judge is and does. Dedication, responsible, service-oriented, community-driven, caring, disciplined. As was so poignantly pointed out, we don't do it for the money. When I first started as a magistrate, my recollection is that we were paid $10 an hour. So obviously, I was not in it for the money. I was in it for the experience and for the giving back. And once you get a taste of dealing with the citizenry, and by the way, we don't service just Cobb County citizens. You can easily see somebody coming in from California, the Northeast, anywhere from anywhere. So when you get a taste of providing that level of commitment and that level of service to the citizenry, then if you're not cut out for it, you're going to find out in 6 months. Because I have seen some magistrates that have come through and they've lasted 6 months and then they left. And you might know some of the names. One is particularly a big attorney in Metro Atlanta area. But we're dedicated to the shift. And again, as was pointed out, some of my thunder has been taken. You realize that 2020 has been an odd year, right? It has been we're all praying for normality to come back soon. But guess what? During abnormal times, someone still has to open the door, do the shopping, and make the store run. Do you realize, again, to those who are streaming, the magistrate court is made up of several divisions and departments, one of which is the warrant office. Do you realize that the warrant office never shuttered, never sheltered, never closed down? So when the comment is made, we're open 24/7, literally, we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when you're eating dinner, there's at least one judge and one clerk in the warrant office. When you are sleeping at night, same thing. This Christmas morning, you can better believe the magistrate office, the warrant office, will be manned. New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, there will be someone in that office, one judge, one clerk. So I feel that the reason why I wanted to give the acknowledgement was not that it really matters, but it matters to me that I don't think the part-time magistrates, I don't think what we do through the warrant office, has received the recognition that it should receive. So, when I'm talking about the warrant office, we are dealing with citizens, we are dealing with law enforcement, all branches of law enforcement, by the way. We may have a police officer come up from Brunswick. We may have a GSP officer coming from Atlanta. We may have DNR, and the list goes on. So you can tell that it strikes a chord with me regarding that. I commented on Judge Hill, but I wanted to again say to Judge Hill, Judge Moore, both fellow magistrates, and Judge Jason Marbut, who I don't know, but I've heard very good things about him. You know how I feel about the Superior Court? You three have a legacy to continue. And I guess all three of you are in that chair right there. But I know you will do it. I know that you can do it. And you have some amazing fellow judges on that Superior Court bench. I want to welcome and congratulate Judge Sonja Brown. When she or her name was mentioned, I didn't know her. I didn't know who she was. And right away, I went into this mode about, okay, how can I assist her? How can I help her? When I get to meet her, I'll throw some of these items out and things like that. Well, I observed Judge Hill's swearing in, which took place on Friday. And I came quickly to realize that with the friends that she has, with the friends that she hangs out with, she doesn't need my help. And in fact, I probably need your help. And if not your help, your friends' help. Okay? So I'm good at opening doors, and I can do some bodyguard work too, But I greatly welcome you, and I look forward to getting to know you better, and I look forward to helping you and me make this court even better than it is. So welcome, and I can't tell you how excited I am to get to know you on a better level. I saved the last or the best for last. My personal family. I've talked about the magistrate court family, and it truly is a family. During the day, it's a family. When you're here on the weekends, it's a family. But when you're not here, you have your personal family. And I've commented on my wife, Michelle, who's sitting in the middle chair. But I'd like to introduce my kids who are now adults. But many of you have seen my adult kids grow up from being kids. My daughter, the oldest, is Kate Mitchum. She's married to Matt Mitchum. Kate is a member of her church and is a minister at her church. Her husband is in the corporate world when he's not babysitting. You've already met Will. He did an outstanding job holding the Bible. Ava, we thought she was going to make it. She's going to be 3 next month, but she didn't. And then my son and daughter-in-law, who are lawyers, my son was able to join us. He's sitting on the front row. My daughter-in-law, who I believe may be watching this. Hi, Lauren, if you're not here, or I know you're not here. And she had a prior commitment that she could not get out of. But real quick now, my wife was supposed to be a special education teacher, and she was for 5 years. And in the old days, when a lawyer went out on his own, it was called hang your shingle. Well, that's what I did. And she said, well, I'll come help you hang that shingle. She came and she never left. So we've been together all these many years, side by side. We've had clients, we've had fellow lawyers. How in the world can you all work together? For us, it was no big deal. We just did it. We did what had to be done. It was no big deal. But we've helped a lot of people over the years. And I must say, in recollecting my notes for this, she probably had the harder job than I did. All I had to do was go out and be a lawyer. She had to do everything else. She had to answer the phone. She had to do the work. She had to do the typing. We thought we were on top of the world when we were able to save up and buy our first IBM Selectric typewriter. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Limited memory. Boy, did that help. But we thought we were just, over the moon with that. I remember her bringing our son as an infant in the carrier. She'd put him on the floor, rock him, answer the phone, type, and it's like what you do when you have to do it, It's just amazing. And here's a little thing that I'll pass on to you that worked with our kids, and those of you who have middle school kids and high school kids. When my wife would talk to the kids driving in the car, going to events or things like that, and the occasion arose, or she had the ability to steer the conversation, she said, oh, you can't get in trouble. You can't cut class. You can't do what's wrong. You can't do anything like, why? Your dad is a judge. He may get fired. Well, I can report that it worked. So thank the Lord, thank my wife. Nothing ever happened in that regard. In conclusion, if I had to give the state of address or the State of the Union address for Cobb County, I couldn't comment on the water department, couldn't comment on the personnel, administrative office departments, couldn't do professional licenses and property management, but I can say that when it comes to the judiciary in Cobb County, the citizens of this county, the people who use this court are in good hands. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge McLaughlin. And I have to admit, one of the only things that gave me heartburn about appointing Judge McLaughlin would not be his thorough speech today. That was excellent, but would be involuntarily retiring Michelle. And so I'm sure that she is glad to be involuntarily retired. So thank you. We're not used to having in-person events. So I want to be sure to welcome our guests that are not on the program that we've already introduced. Judge Dear Jackson from the Stone Mountain Judicial Circuit Superior Court. Thank you so much. And our incoming Chief Judge, Rob Leonard, here of the Cobb Judicial Circuit. Thank you. And Judge Leonard, we have announced several times that Nextdoor is streaming and available for those that are uncomfortable if there are too many people come in the courtroom. So again, we'll make that announcement for the third time that please feel free to go Nextdoor. Now, we'd like to introduce, appearing virtually today, a very special guest, and that's the District Attorney of DeKalb County, the District Attorney of the Stone Mountain Judicial Circuit, my friend, a leader in criminal justice reform, in a wonderful, if we had Room Rater, you'd get a 10 out of 10 for this setup. She must be doing good media appearances. We love it. Welcome, District Attorney Sherry Boston. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judge Murphy, and I am so sad that I could not be there in person, but of course, if I'm going to appear anywhere virtually, I take a notebook out of my friend Sonja Brown's playbook and make sure that I represent today her well, because I am here on her behalf. And I am Sherry Boston. I am District Attorney of DeKalb, and I have the distinct pleasure and honor of introducing Judge Sonja Natasha Brown. I imagine that all of you who are present today, either in person or virtually like myself, share this moment will relate to the words that I will use to describe Sonja for her touch, her heart, her reach, and ultimately her legacy, because it is rare and wide. For the last 9 years, I have had the pleasure of having Sonja serve side by side with me in service in DeKalb. From being my community prosecutor to my deputy chief of special victims unit in the Solicitor General's office, then moving with me to the district attorney's office, serving both as my director of community affairs as well as deputy chief of our crime strategies and community partnerships unit, a unit the first of its kind in Georgia that she helped to create and develop. I could stop with just these accomplishments, but that did not even begin to describe all that Sonja brings to life each and every day. She has committed herself to service to all mankind, not just in the words of our beloved sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, but in action in all that she does. From community and civic engagement, to family, to church, to design for destiny, to the divine nine, there is nothing that she does not do. She is truly the epitome of Black girl magic personified. And today she adds yet another accomplishment to her repertoire, but she does it with humility, walking humbly with her God and the steps that he has artfully ordained for her to follow. She has walked from Fulton County, DeKalb County, and back to her home county of Cobb, landing in yet another place where the citizens will find a tireless and fierce advocate for justice and fairness. I can think of no better words than spoken by poet Maya Angelou when she said, "Pretty woman, wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say it's the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please. And to a man that fellows stand or fall down on their knees, and they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say it's the fire in my eyes and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They tried so much, they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say it's the arch in my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breath, the grace of my style. I am a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed, I don't shout or jump around or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say it's the click of my heel, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care. Because I'm a woman, phenomenal woman. That's me. Judge Murphy, Cobb County, you have gained Sonja Brown, who is a phenomenal woman, through and through. And today she stands before you, ready to take her oath to become a phenomenal jurist. Congratulations.
And now we've reached that time. I think one of the wonderful things that DA Boston said was that Sonja Brown is one of our own, that Judge Brown has lived in this community for 20 years, and she has served the people of Metro Atlanta in all these capacities, and now finally is able to come home to serve her friends and neighbors right here. And how fitting that another of Cobb County's hidden gems, my friend, our newest Superior Court Judge, Kelly S. Hill, who is also a hidden gem that has lived in our community for 20 plus years, but always served in the Metro before taking the bench here in Cobb County. And so from one hidden gem to another, come on up, Judge Hill, and let's swear in Judge Brown.
Thank you so much, Judge Murphy. I've been called a lot this week. I'm going to take it in. Hidden gem, Steel Magnolia. I'm loving it. I've been called other things too, trust me. But I really just want to tell you all how absolutely thrilled and honored I am to be here this afternoon to have a small part in this ceremony, actually honoring two of my friends. Judge McLaughlin, congratulations. And you're welcome. And my very good friend and soon to be fellow jurist, Sonja Natasha Brown. I am going to administer the oath to her. If you would, Sonja. When I'm finished reading, if you affirm or swear, please say so. I, Sonja Natasha Brown, swear or affirm that I will duly and faithfully perform all the duties required of me as the Magistrate Judge of Cobb County. I do further swear or affirm that I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money due to state, that I am not the holder of any office of trust under the government of the United States, any other state, or any foreign state which I am by the laws of the state of Georgia prohibited from holding, that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia, and that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, and that I have been a resident of Cobb County for the time required by the Constitution and the laws of this state. I, Sonja Natasha Brown, a citizen of and being an employee of, and the recipient of public funds for services rendered as such employee, do hereby solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Georgia. So help me God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this time now to introduce you all to the Honorable Judge Sonja Natasha Brown. Congratulations. And before she gets started, I just want to say, I think DA Boston actually must have read my mind. When I thought about Sonja this week and what she meant to me, I thought of Maya Angelou's poem. She is absolutely a phenomenal woman, and she has spent her life and has had a career committed to service to all mankind. And she's going to be a fabulous judge. Congratulations, Sonja.
Thank you.
Let's
May it please the court. I remember the first time I spoke those words as I rose to begin the opening statement at the start of the very first trial on which I was the first chair. The power in those words were not lost on me, as I recognized that only a select few have the privilege to stand before a court and represent the interests of the state or their clients. So this afternoon, I speak those words again as I stand before you to give my last opening and closing statement from this side of the bench. I stand humbly before you with a full and grateful heart. Today is not a day that I had expected to be experiencing this year, because like all of you, this year for me has been none like I have ever seen before, with so many twists and turns. So I am simply thankful for this wonderful opportunity that has been afforded to me. A friend reminded me this morning that we cannot control what happens in our lives, but if we trust, then the plan that has been designed for our lives will unfold. We just have to be willing to step in it and follow that plan. First, I want to thank Chief Judge Brendan Murphy for the confidence that he has placed in me. He extended me an opportunity to serve here as a Cobb County Magistrate Court judge. I am humbled to not only have been selected, but to serve in the community that I have called home for 23 years. As Judge Murphy said, I was unknown to him, and I was unknown to this bench. So I thank you, Judge Murphy, for extending me the chance to interview. And like Judge McLaughlin said, it felt like I was talking to a friend. So I thank you. I look forward to being a part of the best team and working with you, Judge McLaughlin, our court administrator, Tanisha Phillips, and all of the magistrate court judges and the entire staff here. I have been welcomed, and I am excited to join this team as we work on behalf of the citizens of Cobb County. Judge Leonard, I thank you and the Superior Court judges for the confidence you have placed in me to serve in this role. I will endeavor to serve with the same esteem and this sort of be the jurist that you, Judge Staley, Judge Hill, what you bring to work and what you do every single day. That is my commitment to you and to the citizens of Cobb County. The significance of this day is not lost on me, and while I stand before you today, I would not be here without the support, encouragement, and love of so many people. I was sworn in today using my grandfather's Bible, a Bible that's almost as old as I am, a Bible that he gave to me a year before he died. He always said that he wanted a teacher, a preacher, a doctor, and a lawyer. And my cousins and I have fulfilled his dream. And so I hope that my grandpa George is as proud to add judge to that list as I am to be his granddaughter. I was blessed very early on in my journey and my career to have some of the most amazing people serve as mentors and supporters. To my very first boss in the law, Stephen David Dix, I thank you for modeling for me what it means to be a lawyer. You are a lawyer's lawyer, and I can say that without your guidance and teaching, I would not be standing here today. I worked for Steve in a corporate in-house setting, and when I told him that I was interested in transitioning to another field, in particular prosecution, he pushed me and he encouraged me to go towards my future. But it was his assurance that not only could I do the job, but he said you would regret if you never tried. And that gave me the confidence to step out of my comfort zone. And I might add, Steve also said that if I tried it, I went downtown, I didn't like it, I could always come back. So having that security blanket made it a little bit easier. It was the words that Steve said to me when I took my oath, actually right here in Cobb County. When I began as a lawyer, and those are the words that have guided me on my journey. Steve said to me, I'm going to tell you one thing that I want you to do. And I want you to always do the right thing simply because it's the right thing to do. Thank you, Steve. to my current boss and friend, DeKalb County District Attorney Sherry Boston. During one of my annual performance reviews, Sherry said to me, "I knew that I wanted you here, but I didn't know how much I needed you here." Sherry, those words meant the world to me, but it was I that didn't know how much I needed to be with you and in your office. The last 9 years have truly been a blessing for me. I have grown, been challenged, pushed, and encouraged. You have allowed me to create new units in your office, and you've extended me opportunities to lead in both your office and other professional settings. The day that Judge Murphy extended the offer to me to join the court was one of the happiest days of my life, and it was also one of the hardest, because I knew that I would have to tell you that I would be leaving the DeKalb County District Attorney family. But because you are more than my boss, you are my friend, and you are my sister, you celebrated me. You were excited for me, and you couldn't wait to tell the whole world. As a matter of fact, she kept asking me, "When is Judge Murphy going to make the announcement so that I can tell everybody?" Words cannot express to you, Sherry, how happy I am that you called me the second time, because I did refuse the offer the first time she offered me the job. I am so excited that you did call me, because what I gained over the last 9 years is priceless, something that I cannot buy, something I've not been able to earn anyplace else, and I thank you. I thank you and the entire leadership team, Jenny Stolarski, Pete Johnson, and Alan Traylor. And to my team, Angel, JJ, Chris, and Denise, you made it fun to come to work every day. And to my DeKalb County District Attorney family, I will miss you. To my mentors, Judge Kimberly Esmond Adams, Judge Penny Brown Reynolds, Reverend Karen Webster Parks, and C.K. Hoffler, I thank you for always being there for me. You have guided me, encouraged me, corrected me, believed in me, and pushed me to be all that I can be. I appreciate you more than you know. And like Judge McLaughlin, there's so many people that really make up your family. And so I want to thank all of my family and friends in the Bahamas and England, Georgia, and across the United States. My church family, Central United Methodist Church here in Atlanta, and specifically to my senior pastor, Reverend Dr. Vance P. Ross, my spiritual mentors, Reverend Dr. Byron Thomas and Reverend Yvette Massey, my St. Paul's Methodist Church family in Freeport, Bahamas, my sister from another mister, Judge Letitia Dear Jackson, my DA Divas, my sisters in the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys, who we affectionately call her GAVWA, the president of our state bar, Don Jones, my sorority sisters of the Tau Pi Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Hey, Judge Wanda. Hey, Judge Sherry. My DeKalb and Fulton District Attorney families, the ladies of Design for Destiny, and my amazing sister friends who have become family, who have been with me along the way from kindergarten and high school, my line sisters, those at work, and those who I've met along this journey. You all know who you are, and in each of your own ways, you have been my rocks, my conscience, sounding boards, and are the foundation on which I stand. Judge Kelly Hill. Words cannot express what you mean to me. I just told you that I transitioned from corporate America into prosecution, and the very first friend I made on my very first day was Judge Kelly Hill. I sat just a couple of doors down, and she came to the door and she said, "Hi, I'm Kelly." This was literally about a month after she had just done a gavel-to-gavel case on Court TV that I watched every single day. So I sat there fangirling like, "I know who you are, you're Kelly Hill." And she invited me to lunch that day, and I was just amazed. And she was meeting a friend of hers who was trying to decide whether or not she would come back to prosecution. So you can imagine I'm going to lunch at Quiznos downtown by the Underground with Judge Hill, and I walk in, and she and her friend embrace. Her friend welcomes me, and they're talking back and forth, and I'm ping-ponging back and forth because I'm in amazement at these two women. That woman was our district court judge, Eleanor Ross. And they both took me under their wings and they told me that I could do and be so much more. They would listen to my opening statements. They would sit there and go through my cases with me. When I got tired and didn't think I was capable of doing it, they told me I could. They told me there was so much for me to do. And so Judge Hill, Judge Ross, I thank you for guiding me. You leave big shoes to fill, and I know that I can never fill them. But if I can be half the jurist that you are, then I know that I will be an amazing member of this bench. To my Mama D, Mrs. Dolores Baskin, thank you for being a part of this ceremony today. When I walked into your office a little over 12 years ago, looking lost and nervous, you said in the way that only you can, "Baby, come in here and have a seat." And since that day, you have been a special part of my life. And my mom could not be here today, but she said there is one person that I could call that she would allow to stand in her place, and that was you. So I thank you so much for being here. To the people who have been with me along every step of the way, my parents, my sisters, my brother-in-law, and my heartbeats. Every day I strive to be the daughter, the sister, and the aunt of whom you can be proud. You all see what the world doesn't see. You know the long nights that I keep. You step in when I need an extra hand, and you were there before I even know that I need to call you. Because of the time that we are living in today, my mother couldn't travel to be here with us in person. We made the hard decision that because of the rising COVID-19 numbers, it would be best that she not travel right now. But I know that she is watching. And so I need to thank my mom for being the mother that I needed. Mommy, your love knows no boundaries. And I know that having me as a child, strong-willed and a little opinionated as I am, hasn't always been easy. But you set the example of what the Proverbs 31 woman looks like. And I hope that I have made you proud to be my mother. I love you. To my ready-made BFFs, my sisters Nika and Mandy, how did I get so blessed? I won the sisters lottery with you too. It means everything to have you here with me today. I love you both so, so very much. And because I have an amazing title as judge now, I can officially boss you all around and you can't say anything to me because I am the big sister. I want to thank my brother-in-law, Antonio, who came into our life. Not only did you marry my sister, gave me some amazing gifts, but you became my brother. And in addition, you gave me an amazing bonus heartbeat in my niece, Ashaya, who is a senior at the University of Chicago and will be entering law school next year. And I'm so excited. She wanted to be a doctor, but I feel like I talked her out of it to follow in our footsteps. So I'm excited to welcome her to the fold. I know my cousins are watching, and I just have to say this because I'm the sixth of 29 first cousins, and we have our oldest first cousin, Ian. And Ian has a law degree and has a law degree from Oxford, as in Oxford in England. And so it was always, everybody lived up to Ian because Ian went to Oxford. But guess who's the judge now, Ian? So I'm just really excited, but I just want to thank my family for their support, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. I come from a very close-knit family, and they define who I am, and I would not be who I am without them. And last and certainly not least, to the 6 greatest gifts I have ever received. It is truly an honor for me to carry the title of judge, and it is very humbling to walk in this calling. And while I appreciate the enormous responsibility that comes with carrying this title, the most endearing and the most important title I carry is aunt. I am the aunt to Noah, Adam, Alexa, Brandon, Miles, and Isabel. Every day that I get up, I pray that I can make you as proud of me as I am to be your aunt. Thank you for being the lights of my world. You are the best part of all of my days. And as you can see, there are only 5 heartbeats here today with us in person. The first heartbeat couldn't make it today, nor could he even watch as he is in football practice. And as you all probably knew I was going to say, we're going bowling. So congratulations to my heartbeat and his Liberty Flames on being invited to a college football bowl game this year. Finally, to the citizens of Cobb County, I do endeavor to do what is right because it is the right thing to do. You can be assured that I will always work to represent you well. And while you may not always agree with the decisions that I make, it is my goal that you always know that I did what I believe to be the fair and just thing to do based on the law and the facts before me. Magistrate Court is indeed the people's court because most people who come in contact with the justice system interact with this court. My promise is that no matter who you are or why you come into contact with this court, you will be treated fairly, with dignity, and always with respect. I will be a judge for all people, but I would be remiss if I did not recognize the history-making moment that I witnessed this past Friday when the first two people of color, African-American women, were sworn in as judges of the Cobb County Superior Court. Congratulations again to Judge Kelly Hill and Judge Angela Moore Brown. I've known her really long before she was even brown, being sworn in. There is a need in having a court that reflects the community that it represents. Cobb County is a community rich in its diversity and its people, and I am proud to be a representative of this court that you have assembled here, Judge Murphy. And to that little girl who may be watching this, who dreams of being a judge, a lawyer, a teacher, or a nurse, just know that if a little girl from a tiny island nation in the middle of the Atlantic can grow up to be a judge, know that you have everything inside of you to be destined all that you have been called to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Brown. Judge Brown is a phenomenal woman that needs no introduction in so many courtrooms and boardrooms of our state. But to many in our bar, that's a pretty good introduction today. I want to drive home, Judge Deere Jackson, one thing that DA Boston and Judge Hill said. When they talk about service to mankind, Judge Brown literally got an award called the Service to Mankind Award just within the last 2 weeks. So at these events, so many things get said, so many nice things about me today. Half of them are true. This is true. This is absolutely true. And so we welcome you to the bench, Judge Brown. Thank you so much. And now to close us in prayer will be Judge McLaughlin's daughter, Kate Mitchum.
Thank you. I'm honored to read a blessing today over all of our amazing judges, all of you that work in the courtroom. May this work excite your heart, kindle in your mind a creativity to journey beyond old limits or of anything that has become wearisome. May this work challenge you towards new frontiers that will emerge as you begin to approach them, calling forth from you the full force and the depth of your undiscovered talents and your gifts. May this work fit the rhythms of your soul, enabling you to draw from the invisible God new ideas and a vision that will inspire. Remember to be kind to those who work for you and work with you. Endeavor to remain aware of the quiet world that lies behind each face you see, each interaction you have. Be fair in your expectations and compassionate in your criticisms. May you have the grace of encouragement to awaken encouragement in others' hearts. May you come to know this work, this wonderful work which God has ordained you to do. May it emerge from your mind with love. May it have beauty and form in your daily tasks. And may this work be worthy of the energy of your heart and the light of your thought. And may your work assume a proper space in your life. And instead of owning or using you, may this wonderful work you are called to do challenge and refine you, bringing you every day further into the wonder of your heart and closer to God. Amen.
Well, as we conclude, by way of housekeeping, everyone who was sworn in today, if you could join us in the jury room so Judge Walt can complete our paperwork so that we're all official. And then the courtroom will be available for pictures with the family. We'll have robes available. Anybody who would like to take pictures, that'll be great. And I'd like to thank everybody that has joined us virtually today. So many special and honored guests, and also in person. I believe strongly that these events are not like anniversary parties or graduations where we only celebrate what has been and what has brought us to these great days of achievement and history. I feel very strongly that these days are more like a convocation at the beginning of your freshman year of college, because there is so much work to be done. And with this team, I don't know how we can fail. We will not. We will succeed for the people of Cobb County every day. And we want you to hold us accountable. Hold us accountable to hearing your case fully and treating everybody with dignity and respect. I know this team will do it. Thank you all. Thank you.